Thank you very much, everyone, for the opportunity to join you once again for the State of the Nation event. Can I begin by acknowledging that we are on the lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people, the traditional owners of this country. You know, I have the great opportunity to travel around this great state and around the city. I spent some time this morning arriving a bit early at Langley Park, just looking up at our cityscape. And not a day goes by when I don't admire and give and pay respect for the built form of this incredible city and suburbs that we have. And so thank you for everything that you do to create that. And let us just take an opportunity, a moment, to say how grateful and lucky we are to share this country with the Whadjuk Noongar people. So we take the opportunity to acknowledge their elders, past and present. Can I also acknowledge other distinguished guests that are here today, the Honourable Simone McGurk, Minister for Industrial Relations, the Honourable Amber Jade Sanderson, Minister for Skills and TAFE, John Kerry, Minister for Planning and Lands, Housing and Works, who you know very well, Susan Dodds. Look, thank you very much for having us again as the event sponsor. Complete Home Filtration was the sponsor for the last time I was at this event, and it's great to see them backing it up again. And Tony, thank you for your leadership and the work you do as President of the HIA. All the board members and staff of the HIA, including Michael McGowan, the Executive Director of the Housing Industry Association. Can I all just, for a moment, spare a thought for Tim, who has to somehow capture in this particular 20-minute slot what's going on in the world today. He's got the hardest task this morning, and he's probably out the back rewriting his speech, having done so twice since 6:30 a.m. And I can see his notes from here. They are evolving. He's scrolling on his phone, watching world events unfold, and so I think we're all looking forward to his insights this morning. But thank you very much for having me here today. Our building and construction sector is a great Western Australian industry success story. It's an industry that contributes greatly to our economy, which is the strongest in the nation. It's an industry that has seen many challenges and continues to push through, supporting our economy and importantly, supporting our communities. We see just this morning, the ABS has released statistics that show 65,800 more people chose Western Australia as their home. And they will all come to you at some point in time looking for an opportunity to get there, to live in a home. And so continuing to get homes for Western Australians during these challenging times of high demand is a real testament to the strength and resilience of your industry. Last year, building approvals grew by more than 13% to 24,500, and the highest annual total since December 2021. And that trend continues this year. And we've reached an 8-year high in housing completions of more than 22,600 homes in the last year. It's an achievement that should be celebrated. And it's a sign that our settings for your industry are on the right track. My government wants to support the industry to continue to be successful, to be able to meet the challenges that come with the growing economy and the growing population, and to be able to meet any new challenges like the global challenges that we are now facing amid the conflict in the Middle East. I know there are concerns about fuel security and prices, and these concerns will be shared by all of you in the room today. And I want to assure you that my government is doing everything it can to address them. Now, I want to talk about what brought us all here today. The shared goal that we all have, to get more homes built in Western Australia. My government wants to ensure every Western Australian has a place they can call home. That every Western Australian has the comfort and the security that a home provides. And we want to have the options about what that home may look like and whether they want to rent or buy it. It's the experience that I've been lucky enough throughout my life to have had, from childhood to raising my family to today. I'm sure it's also the experience many of you who are part of my generation. And it's the same experience that I want the next generation to enjoy as well. Because it is something that we've always had in Western Australia, the dream to have a place to call your own. The last time I was here with you all, I shared some stories about what it was like growing up in a household of 9 in the 70s. Back then, the challenge was living inside a house with 3 older brothers and 3 older sisters in harmony. But now the challenge facing the next generation is getting into the house in the first place. For many young people, what they are looking for in a home differs greatly from what my generation may have looked for. Where they live, how they live is different. And it makes sense. A young uni student, FIFO worker, or a retired couple aren't looking for the same kind of home as a family of 4. Every housing dream is different. And I want people to continue to have the Western Australian dream, and I want it to be achievable. But housing supply and affordability is a real issue today. It's something we are determined to continue to address alongside providing different housing options. Western Australia needs diversity in our housing. We need our housing to be as diverse as the people and the families that are looking for it. It needs to reflect the range of lifestyles of modern Western Australia. And just as we need housing diversity, because every dream is different, we need to look at the different ways that we can make it happen. Whether it is planning, land supply, or bolstering our construction workforce. We've expanded Key Start products, delivered further stamp duty cuts, and just last week we announced as part of this year's state budget that we'll invest over $70 million to extend and expand stamp duty concessions for off-the-plan and under construction dwellings. And we're supporting the sector through programs that enable construction, infrastructure and site preparation costs for new housing projects. And through build-to-rent initiatives to support the delivery of rental apartment developments. Earlier this week, John Kerry and I were able to go to visit the site of where construction is beginning for a 213 apartment project in Murdoch. And the exciting part about that, apart from the fact that it's a massive development, is that it's just one of 30 build-to-rent projects that are taking place across Perth in the southwest. We know that to build more houses, we need to keep building our construction workforce. We've expanded free TAFE, delivering incentives for industry and apprentices, and we're supporting skilled migration to boost our local workforce. We've been working to attract in-demand workers from the eastern states. Our Builder Life and Construction Visa Subsidy programs have added more than 2,300 skilled tradies to WA's workforce. Plus, we're investing heavily to upskill Western Australians to get them on the tools and building the homes that we need now and in the future. We're very proud of our investment in skills and training. And we're proud of the partnership that we have with each of you in this room to build our construction workforce. As I mentioned, my government has extended free TAFE, investing over $100 million to maintain free and low-fee courses for 2026. This year, we've made another 7 building and construction courses free. Courses that will see us train even more plumbers, bricklayers and plasterers. There are already over 3,200 enrolments in free construction courses in 2026. More than 1,500 of those enrolments are in 7 free courses that we've added just this year. It builds on our investments to support employers of apprentices, like backing the adult apprentice incentive with over $8 million for another round, supporting industry to employ up to 400 apprentices aged over 21 years old. And our GTO Wage Subsidy Program, that has been a huge success. So, I'd like to acknowledge HIA's support for this particular program and their compelling advocacy to see it continue. And I'm very proud to announce today that as part of this year's budget, my government will invest nearly $20 million for another 330 places to support this program again. It will help more small and medium-sized businesses hire the apprentices and trainees we need to build more homes. Importantly, it will help build a pipeline of building and construction workers for many years to come. We know another way that we can support the sector to deliver housing is to make sure Western Australia has the right planning settings to drive growth, diversity and investment. We want to do whatever we can to cut unnecessary red tape, streamline our planning system and coordinate infrastructure delivery, unlocking more housing opportunities across WA. WA is a nation leader on planning reform. We've made our planning system simpler, we've made our planning system faster. But it's not just about process, it's about real outcomes. Building more homes and more diverse housing options. Whether it's our housing diversity pipeline, reforms to the residential design codes, the strategic coordination of land release and infrastructure, or establishing Metronet precincts. Our agenda is about meeting the needs of our growing communities now and into the future. And we've been open about the fact that we'll keep all options on the table for planning reform. To build more homes, we need to prepare the land underneath. We know that land supply is a challenge, and we are working across government and with you to unlock as much land as possible. But unlocking land availability is only part of the equation. To get the homes of tomorrow shovel ready, we need the poles, the wires and the pipes to connect them to our services. That's where government comes in. And my government has created two major funds to drive this work. First, our $400 million Housing Enabling Infrastructure Fund to get the critical connections to power and water supply in place. As part of last year's state budget, we invested $101 million through this fund to support housing supply in strategic growth areas. It's helping fund 21 projects, unlocking about 33,000 lots across Perth, Peel, Busselton, Dayalup, Kununurra and Margaret River. And secondly, our $80 million Infrastructure Development Fund, which is unlocking land in Perth and regional WA for more housing. And this fund has already supported 129 projects and is enabling 9,500 apartments in the metropolitan area. And it's supporting up to 900 homes across 14 housing projects in regional WA as well. So now, please forgive me for being a politician and being a bit political for a moment. But it needs to be said, right? Housing supply is one of the most critical issues that our nation and our state faces today. And this issue requires leadership from across the political spectrum. Unfortunately, that leadership is sorely lacking with the WA Liberal Party. We've seen it time and time again from the opposition. No matter what the housing policy is, they are always against it. They have no plan, they didn't have a skills policy at the last election, and under them, TAFE fees when they were in government were hiked by over 500%. They oppose our streamlined planning reforms and plans for more density. They oppose our new R60 codes, and they are out in the community driving fear and opposition towards projects, doing what they can to stop housing being delivered. They oppose our work to unlock land and provide the critical infrastructure needed to boost housing supply. And the opposition is simply not credible when it comes to housing in Western Australia. They have not been credible when it comes to getting more homes built or Western Australians into homes. They criticise the government for not creating enough homes, but oppose every policy that would facilitate new homes. But we persevere. My government perseveres, and we're getting on with it. My government is focused on driving housing supply, housing diversity and housing affordability across WA. And I know that that is a goal that we all share in this room today. As always, we know there's more to do. As I said, Western Australia is the fastest growing population in the country, as well as being the strongest economy in the country and the fastest growing economy in the country. So we know there's going to be demand into the future. We know that there are challenges which we need to meet together to build our industry, our workforce and more homes. And I'll have a lot more to say on this in the lead up to the state budget in May. But I want to come back to what this is all about. Every Western Australian deserves the comfort, dignity and security of having a place to call home. A home that suits their stage of life and reflects their circumstances. That aspiration has shaped my life, just as it has shaped the lives of many of you in this room. It remains at the heart of the Western Australian dream. We know that dream is harder to reach today, and that homes that people need now and in the future won't look the same. A modern, growing Western Australia needs housing that reflects the diversity of our communities, lifestyles and expectations. Meeting that challenge means doing things differently. It means diversity in the homes we build, innovation in how we construct them, and strong collaboration between government, industry, and the workforce that delivers them. My government is playing its part, investing in skills and training, reforming planning, unlocking land, and supporting the infrastructure that turns approvals into homes. But we can't do it alone. And that's why our partnership with you matters so much and why we value it so greatly. Because when we work together, we get results. The Western Australian dream has always been about having a place to call your own. And every Western Australian deserves to be able to have a place to call home. We're determined to make that dream achievable for today and for the generations that come next. And through the partnership between the government and the HIA, we'll get this done. Thank you and have a great day.